Hai semua, Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. As I promised you, today we will continue the lesson for topic 2.0, Internet Technology. So in the previous video, you have learned the definition of network, describe the different types of transmission media, and describe different type of communication device such as switch, routers, and hub. So we will continue with the same subtopic 2.1, basic concept of network. Before we continue, let's move on to the learning outcome for today's lesson. The learning outcome for today's lesson is at the end of the lesson, you should be able to describe the advantages of network and describe the disadvantages of network. Now, what are the advantages of network? In this video, we will discuss on 4 advantages of network. Number 1, facilitate communication. Number 2, sharing hardware. Number 3, sharing file, data, and information. Number 4, transferring funds. And we also have sharing software. Let's begin our discussion with the first advantage, facilitate communication. Facilitate communication. People communicate efficiently and easily through email, social media such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also message boards. Facilitate communication. Facilitate communication is important to develop a good relationship, either socially, to develop a good relationship between family, when we are very in a long distance relationship, professional relationship between workers and managers, professional relationship between students and teachers, and even between customers and online sellers. Now, even nowadays, we've been distracted of the increasing of COVID-19 cases. Because of that, schools were closed. No teaching and learning allowed at schools, and no face-to-face interaction and communication allowed between teachers and students. Physical class are now transformed into an online class. Teachers communicate and instruct students via Telegram or WhatsApp apps. Teachers uploading teaching material on YouTube, and teacher and student perform synchronized discussion via Google Meet platform. Second advantage that we are going to discuss is sharing hardware. Sharing hardware is a connection between devices on network which can be done via cable, wired, or wireless. In a network environment, each computer on a network may access and use hardware resources on the network, such as printing a document on a shared network. In this slide, I show you the architecture of network by using the client-server architecture. We have a switch, wireless router as the communication device. We have all the clients, PC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clients. And we also have resources which is shared on the network through printers. And we also have the server. Now, by using the network, all the clients can use both printer connected on the network when they have access to the network. By using this, you don't have to buy a printer for each of the clients. You just need to make sure that the clients connected on the network and can share all the printers you have. The third advantage, file sharing, data and information sharing. Now, file sharing is the public or private sharing of computer data, file or space in a network with various levels of access privilege. File sharing allows 1. A number of people to use the same file, being able to read, view, write, modify, copy, or even print the document. Number 2, any user can easily share data between different users or access it remotely if you keep it on connected devices. There are few platforms that support sharing file data and information. Let's talk the first platform. Now, file sharing, cloud-based. Cloud-based file sharing enables users to send files, create folders, and collaborate with their colleagues anytime, anyway, as long as there's an internet connection using any device they want to use. Cloud sharing offers the advantage of having shared files automatically synchronized, which ensure that files being collaborated instantly updated. For example, Google Drive and Dropbox. Nowadays, teachers are using Google Drive platform to collaborate with their colleagues, and also using the Google Drive to share lesson material with the students, and even ask the student to submit the assignment through Google Drive. File sharing client server. So this type typically involve web pages, such as our college site, file transfer protocol sharing or FTP sharing, and email such as Yahoo Mail, Gmail. A client-server program commonly stores data in a central location, such as a server, and then transmit it to user or clients who ask for the data. In this slide, you can see a diagram of the architecture of client-server. Now we have a server, and we have 3 clients involved here, and then there is a part of the internet connected, the client and the server. Now you can assume that the server can be the server for our college website, and you can assume this server is the server for Yahoo Mail or Gmail, and you can also assume this as the server for FTP sharing. Now what happened is all the data and your email, even your document, will save in this server. Now, whenever you want to access the data inside the server, whenever you want to access the data or the email, or you want to receive any email, actually you are connected, you are requesting the email from the server. You are requesting the data from the server, and the server send it to you through the internet network. Now, the server acts as the central device that will serve all the clients on the network. Next, file sharing peer-to-peer. This type of sharing apps allows the direct transfer of files from one gadget, use one peer, to another gadget or another peer. Thus, the name of the definition is peer-to-peer, or also known as P2P, rather than using a single central server. So on peer-to-peer architecture, there is no central device. For example, Spotify, BitTorrent, and P2P payment such as PayPal. File sharing system native. This kind of file sharing system operates as a native function of the operating system of a network. It works as a built-in capability of an OS or operating system to share files among computers with the same OS, typically inside a local network. For example, Mac operating system and Windows 10 operating system. Now let's go to the fourth advantage of the network. Sharing software. User connected to a network have access to software on the network. But of course, you need to register for software licenses or network licenses, or even multi-user licenses. Software licenses for network usage cost less than many standalone licenses. Transferring fund. Digital payment is the way of today and tomorrow, and that means any business, large or small, needs to take advantage of electronic transaction called electronic funds transfer. EFT or electronic funds transfer allow users connected to a network to transfer money from one bank account to another bank account via transmission media. Electronic funds transfer can be performed between the same bank or a different bank and can be accomplished with several different types of payment system. There are few types of electronic funds transfer. Number one, the ATM. ATM is an automated teller machine, is an electronic banking outlet that allows customers to complete basic transactions. Number two, mobile wallet. A mobile wallet is an app that stores your debit and credit card details so that you can pay for things digitally using a mobile device, such as e-wallet. Number three, debit card. Debit card allows you to make electronic fund transfer the transaction. You can use your debit card to make purchases or pay bills online, in person, or over the phone. And then we have number four, online banking. Online banking, also known as internet banking, an electronic payment system that enables customers of a bank to conduct financial transactions through the financial institution website. Okay, we have done discussing 5 advantages of network. First, facilitate communication. Number 2, sharing hardware. Number 3, sharing file, data, and information. Number 4, sharing software. And number 5, fund transfer. Let's move on to the second learning outcome, disadvantages of network. In this video, we will discuss on 3 disadvantages of network, which is costly to set up, security threats, and network failure. Even though network has become part of the technology development, but nevertheless, it comes with some concern to all network users. Now let's start with the first disadvantage of network, costly to set up. Purchasing the network cabling and other hardware such as hubs, switches, and routers might be very costly to buy and replace. Server and the network installation or cabling can be expensive. Once you successfully setting up the network physically, the second question is, how will you manage the network? And this goes to our second concern of network or disadvantages of network, which is security threats. Now, malware is one of the common security threats on network. A malware infection can cause many problems that affect daily operation and the long-term security of your company and your network. Malware such as viruses and worms can easily spread itself electronically over the network. Trojan horse install various applications so that hackers can control your computer and steal confidential information. Malware such as worm infects the computers connected to the network and even block access to the communication. Thus, Network administrators should conduct regular checkups on the system and the stored files at the same time to maintain the network work properly. Now, the last disadvantage of network that we are going to discuss is network failure. In reality, network can fail. Network failure can happen because of many reasons such as an outdated or damaged hardware or aging hardware, natural disasters such as flood, a security failure, and even hard disk failure. Now we all know that if something goes wrong with the server, the whole network is unable to operate where no one on the network can access any files. Files in the server may become inaccessible when the server breaks down. In reality, if network fails, all the advantages that we are discussing just now is a rubbish. That's why maintaining the network to work properly is a must. Let's end our discussion here today. Before we end this discussion, let's take a look, recap on what have you learned in this video. Now, what you have learned is, in this video, you have learned the advantages of network, facilitate communication, sharing hardware, sharing file data and information, sharing software, and transferring funds. And you also learn 3 disadvantages of network, which is costly to set up, security threats, and network failure. Now class, please don't forget to fill in the Google Form test to review what you have learned in this video. Thank you, class.